This is Rosa's Thai, at least I think it's Rosa's Thai. There's an awful lot of lens flare. There's 35 of these in London. This one happens to be in Carnaby Street, opposite Mother Mash, which is one of my favourite places in London. Is it any good? Is it as good as Mother Mash? I've no idea, but as a wise food blogger once said, let's give it a go. So I'm sitting outside for this one, not only because it's a bit busy inside and there's not much space for me to do filming, but also this was the only table they had. So it's Friday afternoon. The weather's starting to get a bit warm. This is where there's stuff in the news about the weather being really good this weekend, so I think a few people are coming out. This Rosa Thai is one of 35, and it happens to be in Carnaby Street, but opposite Mother Mash. And if you remember my Mother Mash video, that was so good, and people are stopping, looking at the menu, and keep wanting to kind of go up to them and go, it's really good, you should definitely do Mother Mash. Anyway, I'm here for Rosa Thai. Now, it is going to look like I am confusing Thai food with Indian food in this preamble, but I'm really not doing that. One of the things that's been really interesting to me my whole life, especially now doing this review channel, is what is kind of going on with the commercial footprint within the UK of Indian restaurants. There are 35 of these Thai restaurants, and I would say that Thai food is not culturally enmeshed in the way that Indian food is, or rather what we think about as Indian food in the UK, which is really kind of like a British-Indian fusion, right? But why are there so few chain restaurants or aggregations of Indian restaurants in the UK? There's Dishoom, locally within London, and I actually haven't done my review of Dishoom yet. I went there a couple of years ago. I actually didn't think it was all that. And the queue outside is always mammoth. So I always sit there and kind of think, is this today when I'm going to sit there and queue up? And I haven't done that so far. But the only other kind of like aggregation of Indian restaurants in the UK is kind of Test de Lahore. Why is it we seem to be able to aggregate restaurants which have roots in Asia, except for India? Why can't we do that? But anyway, one of the reasons why I want to come here is I kind of really wanted a curry. And this is why it's going to look like I'm conflating the two of these things together. Like, I know that a Thai red curry is not equivalent to a chicken tikka masala, right? I get that. But I did want a really satisfying curry. So here we are, but I'm going to get something to kind of broaden out the review a bit as well. And I am sitting outside. I am slightly concerned I've been forgotten, but here we are. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, because there are so many of these, I just assumed that they are all going to kind of look like they've been primary planned by some fit-out company. They're all kind of similar. In there, it's very like an independent. It feels very... I'm going to use the word ramshackle, but I don't mean ramshackle in a bad way. It just feels kind of like, no, someone's come up with a restaurant and they've fitted it out individually rather than necessarily, doing a major fit-out job. Interesting. So let's have a look at the menu. So it's kind of like what you would expect from a Thai restaurant. We've got a bunch of curries. We've got some stir-fries. We've got noodles. We've got pad Thai, which is one of my favourites. So I used to have a client years ago that was opposite this really quite a strange Thai restaurant. But we used to go in there a lot and get pad Thai. So... Thailand's national dish, apparently. Well, here we go. I didn't know that. I got some noodles. Interesting. I did want the pad Thai. Got the curry. We got some rice with that. We got some starters. So I'm probably going to get some starters as well, just to kind of broaden it out a little bit. I might get some nibbles, because this is all a bit expensive, to be fair. It's not looking like the keenest price place I've ever seen. Okay, so the first thing we're going to try here is the prawn donuts, where it's kind of listed on the menu especially, and it attracted me. I can't remember how much these were. They were not cheap, and they do... Okay, well, no, I'm not going to judge them before I try them, right? Here we go. Get a little bit of dip.
It's after work. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, look, the reasonably expensive. I'll presume I'll put the price up in terms of the put the price up on the screen. Quite generous. I'd say they have a bit of a vibe that they look like they're kind of frozen and just fried on site. They're quite generously packed. I would sort of say I'm not really picking up much flavour. So it's either really delicate and I can't taste it, or there's not much in there. It has managed to take some of the skin off the roof of my mouth, though. Okay, so the duck and pineapple curry has arrived. It didn't come like this. It came with the rice in a separate bowl, but I've repackaged it for the video. I wasn't expecting the duck to come on the bone. I think I was expecting kind of like duck breast, so it's separate. Oh, I've run out of space on this table. I have, as I sort of hinted at earlier, managed to take some of the skin off my gum with how hot that prawn donut was. It's funny, donuts are supposed to be your friends, right? And yet, here we are. So let's give this a go. Let's try some of the rice and the sauce first. Try some of the rice on its own, actually. Okay, yeah, it's a Thai curry. Let's try a little bit of the duck. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's nice enough. I think it's I think I'll probably say it's all right. It's all right, I suppose. Okay, well, I'm going to eat my dinner, watch some YouTube, and I'll probably nip down to the W and see where we get to. So regular viewers of the channel will know that I normally go to the W on Leicester Square to kind of wash up the reviews, but it's Friday night and they had a DJ in there and it was too noisy to record. So I've come to the Radisson at Bloomsbury, which has also got some banging music on it, but it's really quiet here. I'm like the only one in here in the bar. That meal cost me 1,800 billion pounds, and I'm not really exaggerating. It was 40 quid. It was 38.50. Look, I'm always going to round up. That's just my vibe, and that's what I'm going to do. There's 40 quid. The key takeaway is that every single Thai meal I've ever had been better than that. It was a reasonable kind of effort. And I think this is one of the things I'm discovering as I'm doing more of these reviews. It's kind of the places I'm going to where there isn't much to recommend them is kind of really the difficult reviews to do. If someone's delivering more value than you're spending, that's obvious. That's it's great, fantastic. If someone's delivering way less value than you're expecting, e.g. Spaghetti House, that's kind of okay, that's obvious as well. But these ones which are really middling, but it's also kind of why I set the channel up as well, because I kept going out and spending money and thinking, why did I spend that much money on that? It really wasn't much. And that's what was going on with Rosa Thai. And I can't understand how there are so many of them for a product that is so bland. It was really strange, and it was busy in there. It wasn't like there's 35 of them that are empty. It was busy, and the other ones I walked past on the way here were also kind of heaving. Let's score it, because it's probably the easiest thing to do. So the ambience was strange. It was nice, I guess, because they almost hadn't gone to any real effort to kind of genericize it or have like a brand voice come through the fit out. It seemed quite independent, and it was like that was quite nice. So I think I'm going to score the ambience 3. The service was all right. I'm not sure if they were busy or but it was kind of like I kind of got forgotten outside, and I wasn't the only one outside. There's quite a few people outside. So I think I'm gonna score the service a 2. The price was, look, the price is kind of easy. It's like, look, every Thai meal I've ever had has been better than that, and they gave me a can for Diet Coke, which I've said I'm going to dock half a point for on the price. The question is whether I score it 1 or 1.5 for the price, and I think 1 would have to be a rip-off. I think 1 would have to be intentionally almost fraudulent, so I'm going to score it 1.5. Food, yeah, it was difficult, because my mouth is still injured from the fact that I've got no skin on the roof of my mouth because of how hot those prawn donuts were. Which, yeah, but I think my argument with them is they were obviously frozen. They weren't fresh. They were very expensive. The rice was a bit overdone. The duck was a bit fatty. The sauce had nothing much to recommend it. There wasn't much in the sauce. It was kind of So I think 1 would have to be inedible. I think I'm going to have to score it 1.5 because it was just, it didn't bring anything to kind of like that type of cuisine. All the independents are doing a better job. And if you're going to have 35 outlets and you're going to have the brand recognition, that means that everyone's going around going, I like Thai food, I'll go there. I think, really not a very good score. So let's just add that up and see what it comes to. Just had to go back and confirm that. It was 2. So yeah, really disappointing score. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's one of those reviews where it's kind of like, I've wanted to go out for a meal all week. This is the first time I had to do it. It was really expensive. It wasn't very good. I wanted to have a second dinner. Can't really justify a second dinner. When I went to the W and I had a cup of coffee, they gave me like a very generous selection of kind of bar snacks. like little nibble things, that was effectively my second dinner, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going on about the W again. All right, yeah, sorry, I meant to do an insert on this. So it's kind of, look, coming back to this idea about why is there no aggregation of Indian restaurants? Maybe it's hard. Maybe there's something they would, Rosa's time were trying to do a very traditional Thai menu that you'd find in any kind of UK independent Thai restaurant. But they hadn't done anything that kind of elevated it above what you'd get in any independent restaurant. And maybe that means that there is this natural gravity around trying to do that with other varieties of that kind of cuisine. And I am, linking together kind of Indian food and Thai food, which some people might argue against. But for me, anyway, just a thought to try and close off that idea about where are we with all the Indian restaurant chains or lack thereof. I've watched YouTube for years on the other side of the camera. Always rolled my eyes a bit when the creator said like and subscribe. It does mean a lot. It is really helpful. So if you do like my videos, I'd love it if you could like and subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.